Good morning and welcome back to Tarot Tats and Tea on this wet, grey and rather cool Sunday morning. Excuse the washing in the background. Naturally, it's pouring down with rain and I can't put it out to dry, so we have it here in the house. Apologies. This is us on our Sunday morning, just doing what we do. I decided to come on today because I thought I would share some books that I have used with tarot, and books that I feel would be particularly useful for people starting out in tarot. Now, there are, like I say, the market is flooded with tarot books, and you know, many of them, or most of them, are really helpful. Some of them can be a little bit meaty and would be great to have in your tarot library to refer to as you progress. Some of them are great for absolute beginners, but all of them I feel are useful to everybody, regardless of your skill in tarot. But what I'm going to talk about today I feel would be great for beginners as well as seasoned tarot readers, but great for beginners, but also one of them is really good to introduce activities between a group of people who enjoy reading the tarot and who enjoy sharing with other tarot readers what they do, what they know, and just delving deeper together in your tarot through games and activities. Now the book I'm talking about is Bring the Tarot to Life by Scott Martin. It embodies the cards through creative exploration. So it's Bringing the Tarot to Life by Scott Martin. I will read the blurb on the back for you. And then there's just a couple of examples I want to look at in the book with you. Excuse me. And yes, I have a coffee this morning, not a tea, which is unusual, but enjoyable. Right. Come explore the drama in the cards. Scott Martin shows you how to breathe life and spirit into your tarot deck, making the cards come alive. You'll get to know these characters from the inside out, and you'll have an outrageous amount of fun while doing it. And that was a review written by Mary K. Greer, who is the author of Mary K. Greer's 21 Ways to Read a Tarot Card, which I highly recommend. That's in my tarot library too. So, raise the curtain on an exciting new approach to tarot. For many readers, tarot cards reveal their deepest wisdom through creative interaction. Bringing the Tarot to Life shows how to use theatre games and acting techniques to gain new insights into the cards, with more than 50 imaginative exercises to be practiced alone or with a group. This book unlocks your intuition and helps you experience the cards from the inside out. Just as an actor prepares for a new role, you can explore tarot through emotions, memories, role-playing, observation, bodywork, and imagination. This book is the perfect guide for readers who want outside-the-box techniques for relating to cards from the deepest part of the soul. I also feel that anybody who is teaching tarot, running tarot courses, that this would be handy to have to one side, that if you do have the time to fit in one or two of the activities from this book, it not only brings a different approach, but it actually could liven up your classes, particularly if you're getting to the point where you think, well, I've tried this and this method, I've tried that method, and this person or that group of people are not quite understanding this card or that card. This is another way to bring it to life. Rachel Pollock writes includes a foreword in this book, and she's the author of the New Tarot Handbook. Again, another one on my library, and again, another one I highly recommend. Scott Martin, he studied acting in the Herbert Berghoff Studio and holds an MFA in directing. He's performed and directed in community and regional theatres, summer stock and the off-Broadway theatre. He has studied tarot with Walden Ruth Ann Amberston, Rachel Pollock, Ellen Goldberg, Robert Place and Mary Greer, and he lives in Brooklyn in New York. Wouldn't it be lovely to live somewhere where you could have those amazing people from the tarot world teaching you tarot? Oh, it's great getting their knowledge through their books, but imagine in person. That would be fantastic. Ruth Ann and Wald Amberston have written that Scott Martin's groundbreaking book is a magical mix of tarot and theatre. Scott's expertise in both these arenas is further enhanced by his love of teaching and his sense of adventure and fun. The book is broken down into a number of different parts, and it's easy to follow. It's a joy to follow. And sometimes when I first got this book and I was looking at some of the activities, and I thought to myself, oh, I will need more than one person to actually make that effective. Yes, probably, but if you've got a really active imagination, you can be all the different characters in an activity yourself, if you don't have other people around you that are so into tarot as much as you are. So there's a foreword, then acknowledgements, an introduction, and then book sections. Okay, so section 1 is journaling exercises, which is always helpful. I have quite a number of tarot journals, one of them being this one here, which I have just returned to on my, again, it was sitting in my tarot library, and I thought to myself, you know, I haven't used it for a long time. This is the tarot journal that I would take when I was taroting outside during our summers. Now, I didn't use it this last summer because I didn't do a lot outside. I have I get joy from taking my tarot decks to, or not decks, plural, maybe sometimes two, but I'll usually take a tarot and an oracle deck with me, and I'll be reading tarot on my towel on the beach. And there have been times when I have just gone up to people and said, would you like a free tarot reading? And it's great, fun in the sun with your tarot decks. And I have jotted down different spreads I've used. I've also jotted down spreads that I've created. And unfortunately, I put it on my shelf because, like I said, I didn't get to go this year and do that sort of thing. I've been quite busy doing lots of other stuff. So that will come back in use, I'm sure, this next spring and summer. So journaling is great, and a journal such as this one here really leads you by the hand, and this is great for people just starting out journaling. I highly recommend journals that guide you, and then once you are up and running, creating your own journals, guiding yourself, doing it totally your way. So we've got intuition and creativity. Under the journaling exercises, we have intuition and creativity, personality inventory, tarot card questionnaires, cast the deck, I am what I do, and tarot's magic if. It goes on there. There's a number of different areas under section 1, which is owning the cards and animal exercises, all the worlds of tarot deck, changing and where, costuming the cards, not consuming them. I suppose we do consume them in one way, but costuming the cards, that should be. The voice of an object in tarot, the name game, tarot starts in the revival, conflict, objective, obstacle, tactic and resolution. A piece of advice, past, present and future, suit the subjects, the tarot storyboard, defining moments, a secret revealed, tarot symphony, opus numbers 78 and 59, tarot free writing, iconic characters on stage and in film, please take your seat, the commencement speech, and it takes a village, a tarot eulogy. Section 2 are the tarot theatre games, and again there's a huge list. And section 3, tarot card meanings, which is great because albeit we get little white books, and many of us sort of think, well, oh yeah, I do know the meaning of that card, and we might have the bones of a meaning. Sometimes reading what other authors have put down and added their own little twist or a little bit of magic tarot dust to the meanings sort of gives you food for thought and enables you to add to that meaning from your own intuition. And that's when on meaning pages, I often find myself grabbing a little pencil and putting little footnotes either in the margins or in the page, just to remind me that when I go back and I might look at something, I think, oh yes, I'd forgotten that's the way, you know, that person's that person's understanding of that card led me down that train of thought, and it's something that you can, you know, add in to your readings. There was an activity here on page 159, and it was one that I thought to myself, that is really interesting. It's in the interrogation, a person of interest, and it's in section 2, tarot theatre games, and it's one that I really felt drawn to. So I'm just going to read this little bit to you. The interrogation, person of interest. We all must have seen those true crime dramas where the person of interest is asked the same question over and over again. And this is brilliant to do with any of the tarot cards, well, you know, particularly the majors. So you're seeking information, okay? And, you know, so they ask the same question over and over again, hoping that he or she will eventually crack and divulge the information the interrogator is seeking. This is also an effective technique for the actor to get to the unexplored areas of his character, and in this exercise, for the tarot student to delve into the meaning of a card that goes beyond the traditional definitions. Once those standard meanings have been exhausted, what follows may produce some of the most surprising and unexpected results. And that's, you know, perfectly, you know, the standard meaning exhausted, because it's all right knowing the standard meaning, but if you are going out there and you're reading for people solely using the standard meaning, and if you have, say, 5 people and they're all waiting for a reading, and the chances are pretty high that they'll, you know, draw some of the same cards along the way, they're all going to have the same reading. You've got to sort of trust your intuition. What comes to mind? What are the energies adding to that reading for that person? And this is a brilliant example as to how you can create extra meaning by deep diving into a tarot card, as the example shows here. So, one person is chosen as the person of interest. So, again, remember, you can do this on your own as well as in the group. This is based on a group activity. But if, like I say, you're a solo practitioner and you don't have people in your area where you live, create multiple people in your mind, okay? Your person A, B, C, D, E and F, and you're also the person with the, you know, who is the person of interest. So, again, if you have a group, this is how we go. One person is chosen as the person of interest. The interrogators are the remaining players. The person of interest may choose a card at random from the deck, or a card may be chosen because it's one that the group would like to explore, which I think is a great idea. You know, because sometimes we can get a card and each, you know, it might be a card that you think, well, we do have difficulty interpreting that one in most, you know, in most readings. How can we get around that? And this is a really good exercise. When I say, just to clarify there, when I say that you can do this on your own, you genuinely can. You can sit with the book, you can ask yourself each question and delve into the question and come up with as many answers as you want and put them in point format. So that would be sort of equivalent to having different people giving you answers for different questions, for the different answers for the same question. Get as much as you can, delve deep. Right. So the purpose of this example, the Hierophant card has been used. So let's have a look and see how it goes. So the person of interest sits before the group, almost like a judge and jury, really. The members of the group in turn fire the same question at him. Who are you? So you could have, say, 5 people and the person of interest. So 6 of you there, or as many as you want here. Okay? So who are you? Initially the question never varies. And the game continues until the person of interest has exhausted all the possible responses that occur to him. He says, "That is all that I am." Now is the time to encourage him to continue by changing the question. What do you not want us to know? Okay? What he says next may be the most original and insightful discovery. Just as we do not reveal all of who we are when we are with everyone, those private aspects of ourselves are no less a part of who we are. Crikey, it's almost like a subliminal shadow work. So, for example, Interrogator 1, who are you? And the person of interest who has, is the Hierophant card. I am a Pope. Interrogator 2, who are you? I am a counsellor. Interrogator 3, who are you? I'm a traditionalist. Interrogator 4, who are you? I'm a conservative. Interrogator 5, who are you? I'm a teacher. Interrogator 6, who are you? I am a guru. Interrogator 7, who are you? That is all that I am. Interrogator 8, what do you not want us to know? And the Hierophant, the person of interest. I am the leader of a cult. Interrogator 9, what do you not want us to know? Hierophant, I am a false prophet. Yes, under these circumstances, the person of interest, under pressure, will confess to things he would normally keep under wraps. When this round seems to have gone as far as it can, choose another person of interest, another card, and repeat the process. Following each interrogation, allow feedback so that the group can share the responses they found most interesting and insightful. When we speak from a place of absolute honesty, without fear of repercussion, we may reveal more than we would have ordinarily. How can this right of way provide greater insight into the card embodied in this exercise? Again, if you've done this on your own, once you have asked as many times, who are you, or what do you not want us to know, and you have jotted down your answers, look over them. What do they trigger? What can you add? Keep a note, and then you will see that you have built up a whole character, both positive and negative, for that card. When you're doing this on your own, you would probably tend to be far more honest than if you were uncomfortable sharing it with a group of people. This is a fantastic group exercise, as are many of the exercises in this book, and yet they can still be used depending on your imagination, your creativity, and your own confidence in saying, well, do you know something? I can sit here. I can write down what I find this card is saying to me. And don't be afraid. Put it down. Nobody's going to see your notes if you want to do this alone. If you're doing it as a shared activity, you've then got people putting in their 2 pennies, and again you build up an even larger bank of information that everybody has contributed, because each of us will have a different thought, each of us will have a different message intuitively or otherwise, and it's great to share, and it's great if you have the confidence, if you have people that would like to do this, even if people who that you've got around you that are mildly interested in your activities, well, would you like to carry out an exercise with me? And it's fun. It can also bring you together and create sort of a social get together doing activities like this. It really is good fun. So that's an example of sort of delving deep, interrogating the person of interest, interrogating the card, and finding out all these different hats the Hierophant in this example wears, both positive and negative. The introduction is great. I've marked that because that is something that I come back to now and again. So my whole idea of sharing this with you is to just show you that, you know, tarot, there are so many ways in which to study, interpret and enjoy your tarot deck, either with a group of people or on your own. And this I have done mostly on my own. I did one exercise with a group of people, which was great, but again, time constraints and commitments that we've all had, we haven't managed to arrange a second get together yet, even though we all enjoyed it. We keep saying we must revisit it. So my aim now is to get an activity done, grab my pals and sit around our dining room table and get stuck in with a lot of laughter and maybe a glass of wine or two. Now, the other book that I wanted to share with you today, there's only two, and they're just two that jumped out at me, and I thought, right, I'm going to actually spend my Sunday morning, or part of my Sunday morning, sharing this information with you, whilst, I might add, my Halloween costume from last year is currently in my washing machine being dyed. So, what better way to spend my time? The next one I've got here is Tarot for Dummies. Now, these books, you know, if you'll recall when the very first ones came out, sort of Windows for Dummies, Computers for Dummies, I don't know, Apple for Dummies, Android for Dummies, whatever it is, you know. And I love them for dipping in and dipping out of. This does hold a lot of information. You've got Discover the Ancient Mystery and Magic of Tarot. Are you longing to see your life from a different perspective, to see the bigger picture? Let expert Amber Gianti show you how to interpret the tarot and re-envision your life through this ancient mystical system of pictures. Come along on this fascinating journey as she guides you through this deck. And you it teaches you how to interpret various tarot spreads, handling the cards, preparing for readings, distinguishing the elements of a great reading, identifying what the tarot can and can't do for you, and basically enjoying the ride, you know. This is set out pretty, you know, like all the how-to for dummy books, you know, and it's one that I've dipped in and out of. What I like about this as well, if we go into this part here, it's hold on, let me just find the beginning of this chapter. She sets the cards out, so you have all the aces, then all the twos, all the threes, all the fours, etc. And I do like that. It sort of keeps it all together and succinct. You're not sort of going from one suit to another and starting the numbers again. They're all there on the to get together, you know, in the pages. So let's just get to the aces. So here we are. And this is under the section Interpreting the Minor Arcana. Now, when I'm using examples, often I use the majors, but it's nice to have the minor arcana here that we can interpret together. So we're looking at the aces. Here we have the Ace of Wands. So it gives you the sort of, it's a universal archetype, a wand symbolising divine inspiration and the element of fire and signifying vitality. It's held by a hand reaching out of a cloud, the world of unseen yet very real forces, an extension of your pointing finger. The wand suggests the value of paying attention to what's going on in front of you right now. It also indicates the importance of being mindful or conscious of your intentions, why you're thinking, saying and doing what you are. Each wand is in the suit is leafing out, suggesting that it's bursting with life. So it's got new sprouts of leaves on it. For me, just to add here, when I see this symbol, it also reminds me of anything to do with signing documents, writing, or being creative with arts, which it is. It's all about passions and abilities. So you are then given a list of questions. What is at hand? What new opportunities are being handed over to you? What ideas are sparkling or activating you? And it all focuses, it gives you all these questions that you can write answers down to, and there you have, again, added to this description, a whole lot of information that's been sort of sort of given to you through different modes of questioning. There's a huge amount in this, and I would definitely recommend that on any tarot student's bookshelf. Dip in and dip out of it. It's great. It's not one that you would sit and read from cover to cover, but one that would certainly be there as almost an encyclopedia of tarot. And just before I go, I've a book that I'm starting today, and it's by Rachel Pollock, The Tarot of Perfection. Okay, and this is a collection of tarot tales. These mystical, magical travel tales show us that it's the journey itself that really counts. They will change forever how you see tarot, destiny, and indeed all the mysteries. That was a review by Mary K. Greer. Rachel Pollock is the renowned author of 30 books, including 78 Degrees of Wisdom, often described as the Bible of tarot readers. Her novel, Godmother Night, won the World Fantasy Award. Her earlier novel, Unquenchable Fire, won Britain's prestigious Arthur C. Clarke Award. Rachel's writing is remarkable in its unique blend of fantasy, philosophy, and vivid surrealist imagery. So there are a few little short stories in here. And this has been sitting on my shelf for a while. I saw it, I thought, oh, I must get that, and I popped it onto my shelf and I didn't pick it up again. My bad. So today, on this wet day, I'm going to start this book. Sit and read, nice and cosy here in the house. There's the introduction, Tarot and Stories. Then the stories are The Tarot of Perfection, The Pickpocket's Destiny, The Girl Who Went to the Rich Neighbourhood, The Fool, the Stick and the Princess, The Souls in the Trees, Carolina in the Morning, Simon Wisdom, and Master Matthias. That I will review once I've read it. I'm actually looking forward to getting stuck into this today. Right folks, the washing machine has stopped. I've pre-washed the garment, and now I'm going to add the dye. So, whilst I get on with that, you get on with seeking out your tarot books and share with me what you use that you have found helpful when you first started reading tarot, and what you would recommend for people coming into the tarot community and wanting to start out on their tarot journey. When I first started tarot many years ago, there was no literature around, really. Very few books around, and what were around were difficult to get your hands on. Now we are really lucky in the age that we live in, that it's like a gold mine of literature for people wanting to get into this world and enjoy things, sort of all things tarot. So take care, have a good Sunday whatever you may be doing. Thank you for joining me here, and enjoy tarotting. Bye now.